Hi everyone, Arachnobeth here, and today is the Q&A video. So a couple of videos ago I put out a video and asked for you to pop questions down in the comments section for me. And today I'm going to answer all those questions. And there is quite a lot, so this may even be in two parts. I'm joined by Zenny, the bearded dragon. So my first question was from Valley's Tarantulas. What got me into inverts? Basically, what got me into the hobby is my phobia of arachnids. If you go back to my very first video on my Arachnobeth playlist, basically explaining about my phobia of spiders and how I come to get over my phobia and then become fascinated with tarantulas. My next question is from Gandalf. What is an interesting fact about me that is not invert related? So I am fascinated by psychology, especially animal psychology. This started when I had troubles with my horse, and I learned a lot of equine psychology, and it's gotten me to really ask questions about why we do the things we do and why animals do the things they do. So yeah, that's an interesting fact about me. I have a question from Jade's Jungle. Would I rather have 8 legs like a spider, suction cup hands and feet and antenna like a hissing cockroach, or leave a slime trail like a snail? To be honest with you, I think I'd rather have the 8 legs, because that way I've got extra pairs of hands to help me feed all this slot, and it would help me with holding this guy right now. So yeah, I think I'd rather have 8 legs like a spider, and it'd be really cool to actually be able to climb the walls and stuff. Okay, my next 3 questions are from 8 Legs 4 Wheels, and that is, what was my first invert? Well, when I was really young, I think I was about 3 or 4, I remember having 2 hermit crabs. So technically, those were my first inverts. And again, when I was probably about 7 or 8, I remember having Indian stick insects. But my first invert this time round, you will all probably know, is in here. And that is Ron, my Gramstyle Action tarantula. But yeah, really my first invert was actually hermit crabs and Indian sticks. What are my 3 favourite YouTubers? So when it comes to inverts, my 3 favourite YouTubers have got to be Predator or Prey Online, Tom's Big Spiders and the Invertebrarian. Just for all different reasons really. They're all really good with their information on the care side, and also Gar and Adam are really funny as well. They put out some funny content, not just the usual care side of it and the serious stuff. And what is my most wanted invert? To be honest with you, I haven't really got a most wanted. It's mainly getting more tarantulas from the genus that I collect, so like Panthobeteus. But one of the ones I would probably say is my most wanted would be a Panthobeteus ornatus. But they are really expensive as slings, hence why I haven't got one. My next question is from Pet Rock and Roll. If I could have any ability from any tarantula, what would it be and why, and how would I use it? I would like to be able to spin a web fort or like a web tunnel, similar to like an OBT, or as you can see in this enclosure here, she has webbed up a tunnel going across 3 walls of this tank, and I would just absolutely love to live in there. You can make your own, personalise it, make your own little rooms, own little places. And to be honest, then only my spider friends would really appreciate it, and I think everybody would just leave me alone, I suppose. Just let me get on with my weirdness. My next question is from Peter Webster. If money wasn't an issue, what invert would I like for Christmas? Again, so Panthorbetius ornatus would be nice. Or a Theraphosa blondie, I think, would also be very, very nice. But I'd like them both, or if I had either of them, to be a sling, because I love to watch them grow. That's why I have like loads and loads and loads of slings, is because I like watching the development of them. The next one is from JP's Pet Nation. What made me keep inverts? So I think I've already basically answered that one, was my phobia. What was my first invert? Again, I've just done that one, which was hermit crabs and stick insects. Why did I get my first tarantula? Because I'd overcome my phobia of tarantulas. I still get a bit iffy over house spiders, and my tiger wandering spider scares the crap out of me. But other than that, not too bad. What was my first tarantula? I give up with him. What was my first tarantula? It was Ron, my grandma's dog Actaeon, and there is a whole video of him, or actually she's a female, of her, and she's in a lot of my feeding videos because she eats for England. Is there any invert I would never keep, and why? Obviously anything on DWA licence. I'm not made of money. I wouldn't bother getting DWA. And to be honest with you, assassin bugs, they just don't do anything for me. I can see that they're why people like them. They look quite cool, and the fact that they're a bug-eating bug, I get that, but nothing compels me to want to go and get them. And what is my dream invert? Do you know what? My dream invert would actually be a peacock jumping spider, but I believe you can't actually get them in the hobby because they're Australian, and Australia don't import and export. Okay, my next questions are from Jennifer's Tarantulas. The first one is, how do I see my channel in a year? To be honest with you, exactly the same as it is now. I don't really do the channel for views and for subs and things like that. It was mainly just a way of me documenting the invert's progress, my horse's training progress, and I've started to do, obviously I've done feeding videos which I really enjoy actually editing them, so really it's more for myself, so I don't see the channel getting big. I'd like to think I'd do a bit more interactive videos like these, just to get to know you guys a little bit more, because I do get a lot more comments now, and I do answer a lot of questions and things like that. So that would probably be my answer to that question. What is the best and worst thing about being in the hobby and about being a YouTuber? So the best thing about being in the hobby is discovering all these different colours and species of spider that you'd never even would have thought existed. To think they could come in blue, purple, orange is just completely mind-blowing when you didn't know any different. And also about being in the hobby is finding other people in the hobby, and there's not really like any hierarchy of like, oh well, I've got 100 tarantulas, oh I've just got 1 tarantula, where you're all on the same level, and you know, you can't be looked down upon, unless your care is ridiculously horrible and you know it is, then that's when people will moan. But if you didn't know and obviously you change it, we're all learning at the end of the day, you know. But with other hobbies and other, especially animal keeping, like snakes and especially horses as well, you know, everybody's looking down their nose at you, and in this hobby it's nowhere near as bad, and I really like that. The worst thing about being in the hobby is wanting them all. I think that's the worst bit. There's like, well, I don't know how many genuses I'm up to now, but it's wanting to collect all from the same genus, and then you find another genus you really like for the personality or the colour or whatever, and you want to collect all of those, and it's just, I just don't think it's possible, because you'd end up with like 1 million spiders in your room, or in your house. Also, the worst thing about being in the hobby is just having unknown deaths, like why they've happened, nobody knows. Especially with slings as well. But it's even more gutting when it's like an adult tarantula, like maybe they've got internal parasites or something you can't see, and when you can't help them because they don't necessarily display a behaviour to say that they're uncomfortable or they're ill. That's quite heartbreaking, really. That's the only word for it. The best thing about being a YouTuber is meeting other YouTubers, because again, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you've got, we're all human, and going to the BTS and meeting a load of YouTubers all in one go was absolutely amazing. Like, everybody talks to you, you know, nobody's, you're not beneath anybody, everybody, you know, we're all human, we all talk, we all answer questions, you know, and when I went to BTS, it was like I'd known everybody for ages because I felt so welcomed. And the worst thing about being a YouTuber is probably editor's block, when I can't think of something to edit. Or another thing that really annoys me is when I've got loads of clips, because I record pretty much everything, but then not having the time to edit it and get it out onto YouTube, which is why in my descriptions and on my Facebook posts in the write-up I always put the date of when it was supposed to have gone up, or the day that that thing happened, because I like everything to be chronological, and it really annoys me when I've had footage standing there for months and I've not been able to edit it. That's really irritating. Another question from Jennifer was, if I could have a conversation with my favourite tea, if it could talk back, what would we talk about and what would his voice sound like? To be honest with you, I'd probably talk with Ron, because she has got so much personality. She's very exuberant, and I think we'd just talk about our day, like just talking like best friends. That would be really nice, but obviously I don't think that would happen, to be fair, because she'd be like, where's my food? And also checking like spider shop website, So Many Legs website and things like that, looking for more spiders. I think that would be really cool if she would just sit on my laptop while we sort of Google through. That would be awesome. Talk about invert shows as well. I did the video of Ron prepping me for BTS, because I think she would like to go to a show. I think she would like to travel the world if she could. She's very, that's just him scratching on the side of his sieve because now he wants to go back in. Yeah, she's very interested in everything. I think we'd also talk about how big she's going to get, because I quite like Harry Potter and I'd like to think that she would get as big as Aragog, which obviously she won't, but don't tell her that. And that she could eat my enemies, that would be another good thing as well. But I'm not sure what she would sound like. I don't know if she would sound like, I don't know, really cool or like gothic, like say like in the Twilight movies, like somebody like that, or if she would sound like a higher pitched voice, saying things like on the doggo memes and things like that, because I think that would be really cool if they would talk like that. But I don't know what a tarantula would sound like. My next questions are from Ian Tarantula. What is my favourite pizza? So my favourite pizza is Hawaiian or barbecue chicken. Do I like Marmite? Yes, I do, but I only like a thin layer. What is the funniest joke I know? I'm not very funny, I don't really know jokes, but I know it's a joke when people tell me to stop buying spiders. And if my tarantulas could talk, who would be the rudest? Do you know what? OBT, all the way. As soon as you open the enclosure, it rears up, giving you threat posture, and it's basically swearing at you the whole time. I think that would be the rudest tarantula, to be honest. My next questions, and I have quite a few, are from Cousin Feral Ferret. If Bob's your uncle, who's your aunt? Well, I thought the saying went, if Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, so that's my answer. What is the best Salmopius species? And he put in brackets Cambridge eye, obviously. I've got to disagree there actually. I think Salmopius victori are the best Salmopius because of the amazing colour difference. What is the best avicularia? Cousin Feral Ferret says Quitara. I think I'll agree there. Avicularia Quitara or the Avicularia M6, which was Avicularia metallica, because I like the little like carbon fibre white bits on their legs. What is the best baboon species? Now I couldn't pick a best baboon overall. I've put Cerasgyrus marshalli because who doesn't like a tarantula with a little horn on it? It looks like a unicorn. I think that's just awesome. Harpactira pulchripes because of the amazing golden blue colour, because it just looks like something that's come out of a storybook. And also H. gigas because it swims, it goes in the water, and no other tarantula really does that. So those would be my top 3 baboons then, basically. What is the best arboreal? So again, I've got 3 here because I couldn't choose. I've put a true Heteroscoda maculata, so I can't remember, I think it is from Togo where they come from. If they're pure from Togo, they are the pure white colour, whereas now where they've been more captive bred, the colour's sort of washed out. I could be slightly wrong on that, it could be a locality thing, but I know the true ones from Togo are the really nice white ones, so those ones. P. metallica because of their amazing colour again, or the C. versicolor because of the colour change as well as their generally docile personality. If I could make a tarantula with traits of other tarantulas, what would it be? So it would have the attitude of my Grammostola actaeon, because one minute she's docile, but when you put some food in there she is on it like nobody's business. I'd like it to web up like a GBB because it's amazing what they can do. But I'd like it to be a communal like a Balfouri. I'd like it to be sort of semi-arboreal, similar to Thrixopelma ocketi. So it will go on the floor and it will sort of go up a little bit of a cork bark or whatever. And I don't really want it to hide away. And I'd also like them to be sexually dimorphic because I think that would be awesome. So females would be like a blue colour, like a baby avicularia. A baby Caribbean versicolor. But the males would be like orange. But I'd also want them to be really fluffy. So again, I think that would be awesome. Okay, the next question. What is the average flight velocity of an unladen swallow? 11 metres per second or 24 miles an hour. What is the capital of Bolivia? Sucre is the capital and La Paz is the seal of executive and legislative branches of the Bolivian government, because a lot of people think La Paz is the capital. Will England win the World Cup? No. We're rubbish. Do I like sport, and if so, what is my favourite and who do I support? I don't really do sports. Sports aren't my thing. I mean, look at the size of me. Do I look like I do sport? But in saying that, I do support Team GB when we do the Olympics in the equestrian events. I don't like racing, but I can put up with dressage, show jumping and eventing when done correctly, when in the horse's own time, because a lot of horses are trained far too young, before their body is fully grown and before their bones are fully hardened, which causes long-term effects later on. So when done properly, that's when I do quite enjoy watching. Spell my name backwards without pausing. HTEB, that's obviously Beth, but if I was to do Bethany, it would be YNAHTEB. What's my favourite colour? Purple. Purple's my favourite colour. And what is my favourite country based on wildlife? So obviously Australia has an amazing amount of wildlife, but also Brazil again has an immense amount of wildlife, so I would be torn between Australia and Brazil. What is the most famous person I've ever met? So it's probably not going to mean anything to you, but I met a gentleman called Monty Roberts, who is the horse whisperer. He's the most famous person I've ever met, but he's certainly not the most pleasant. He was actually very rude. I was quite disappointed. But anyway, what's my favourite person I've ever met? Do you know what? It's going to be Peter Webster, because when I saw him in the line at BTS, it was as if I'd known him for years, and like, you know, and we talk quite a bit now on YouTube, commenting on each other's videos, and honestly it just makes my day every time I see a comment from him, or when I'm watching his videos, and you know, I always leave a comment, because he's just the most genuine person I think I've ever met in my life. And yeah, he's definitely my favourite. My top 5 YouTube channels, again, so that would be Tom's Big Spiders, Predator or Prey Online, Invertebrarian. To be honest with you, I do quite enjoy Dark Den. I know some of his keeping isn't always agreed with by a lot of keepers, and I do have to agree that tarantulas should have water bowls, and if they're, you know, they should have decent size enclosures. But I do enjoy his content, you know, obviously aside from those couple points. And I also really enjoy Tarantula Heaven. Patricia puts out some really good videos, and a lot of them are, you know, just asking really weird questions, like, and then she would look into it, like, do tarantulas feel pain, or do tarantulas play with toys? You know, again, it's also this psychological side of it. I really enjoy those bits, but also she comes out with some really good content about tarantula illnesses and things like that. So yeah, her channel is another one to watch. My next questions are from Princess Sophie Pink. If I wasn't in the hobby, what would I be doing instead? To be honest with you, I would probably just have my horses. I used to be very big into tropical fish, because that is also a very addictive hobby. But now that I've got the tarantulas, the fish have kind of died down a little bit. And also because I'm not working I used to work in a tropical fish shop, which sparked up my major addiction. But now I'm not working there. You know, because obviously I used to get a discount. I can't buy as much as I wanted. And to be honest with you, my fish tanks are all full now. I can't put anything more in them. And it's just, it's sort of been a phase really. But I think if I was still working in the fish shop and I didn't have my teas, I'd probably still be big into fish. Oh, and also my reptiles as well. What is my favourite species of snake? I quite like, is it ball pythons or royal pythons? Because they come in so many different colours. Like I've seen, like, yeah, is it bananas they call them? You're making a racket. So yeah, banana ball pythons, yellow ones, similar to what you've recently got. I really like them. But I also like green tree boas as well, because of their striking colours. What tarantula do I not like or wouldn't keep? It's not that I don't like them, but T. Celadonia I think are really overrated. They're such a tiny, tiny little thing, and so fragile. But they cost so much. If they were cheaper, you wouldn't mind it when they die, or mind it as much as when they die. But it's because you've only got to sneeze on them and they die, and I just couldn't I couldn't justify spending hundreds of pounds on a tarantula that can die any second. I know people do and they have success with them, but to be honest with you, that probably wouldn't be my thing. And again, Sabar Blue as well. They're anything that's really expensive to get as a sling that is not hardy. Like I wouldn't mind spending, you know, a decent sum of money on, for say, a Panther Beteus, because they're hard as nails. Like you'll be surprised if they die on you, you know. I don't think I've had a Panther Beteus die on me at all since I've started keeping them. But yeah, that was that one. What is my nastiest invert in my collection? Well, I would have said my camel spider, but this last couple of months he's really sort of slowed down, so I don't know if he's coming to the end of his life or if he's coming up for a molt or something, because he's not quite as aggressive as he was. Before, you only had to move the enclosure and he was like rearing up and trying to eat you. Either that or my Asian forest scorpion. Again, I've only got to lift the enclosure lid up and he's like put his claws in the air ready to try and eat me. Again, if I could make any tea using 5 traits from other teas, what would it be and what would it be called? Oh, so I made a different one this time. It would have blue colour of a baby versicolor on the, I think that was on the carapace and abdomen. It would be that blue colour, but it would have orange stripes on its legs, but not like a Hamori where it goes that way. It'd be more like an Agen where they go that way over the knees and stuff. The orange stripes, orange like a OBT red colour form, you know, bright orange. Pink chelicerae around their fangs like a female jumping spider, because I quite like that and I think that would look cool on the blue colour. I'd like them also to have pink toes and a red abdomen like a Grammostola action or a Brachypelma vagans, or Tilta cattle vagans now. And I'd call it the avicularia rainbow colour. Okay, my next couple of questions were from Al's Arachnids. The first one was, who's better, Sam or Kelly? That's really mean, since they both just bought me Christmas presents. And there's only really one factor that makes one better than the other, and that is because Kelly drives. She drives us to the shows, and I think Sam would agree that, you know, if we didn't have Kelly, we wouldn't be driving to shows and stuff. So that is, by the narrowest margin, Kelly is better than Sam. Why do I think we will... Oh, when do I think he will complete his shed? Not a clue. I don't have a clue. Maybe by next Christmas? Maybe? I don't know. I haven't actually seen the shed myself yet, so I don't know really what sort of state it's in at the moment. Who do I get most nervous about meeting at my first show? To be honest, oh my god. To be honest with you, everyone. I was nervous about meeting Sam and Kelly before we went up to the BTS, let alone meeting all the people that I did meet at BTS. So yeah, literally everybody, because it makes you feel like, because I didn't speak to anybody on the internet either. I didn't speak to anybody over Facebook or over YouTube really. I would just leave like your normal comments. But now, you know, I'm talk to some people on a near daily basis over Facebook or YouTube. You're making too much noise. I can't let you go. You're making too much noise. Yes. But yeah, everybody. There wasn't anybody I thought was more scary than anybody else. Because until you've met other YouTubers, you don't realise how pressureless everything is. Once you've met everybody, it's just like you've known each other for ages, really. If I could watch only 3 YouTubers, who would it be and why? Again, Tom's Big Spiders, Predator or Prey Online, Invertebrarian. My next questions are in fact from the Invertebrarian, and he gave me some really funny ones. The first question is, would I rather have a nibble on a giant toe or have a giant nibble on my toe? To be honest with you, I think I would rather nibble on a giant's toe, because I think if a giant tried to nibble on my toe, I would probably end up with a missing foot. So I would endure the nibbling on a giant's toe. It can't be any worse than that bloody hot sauce challenge. And he's given me a tongue twister to say, so I've got to say, and I can't do it fast, but I've got to say, I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son, and if I'm only plucking... No, I've still done it wrong. I'm not the pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son, and I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker's son comes. Yeah, I can't do tongue twisters, that's as best as you're going to get from me. Oh, he's gone now. If I could travel to any moment in time and witness or alter an event, what would it be and why? To be honest with you, I think bonfire night, because I hate fireworks. I absolutely hate them, and I see so many things on Facebook about animals getting caught up in Chinese lanterns and getting spooked by fireworks, and you know, having heart attacks, or like horses running into fencing, like just blind panic, running over cliffs and things like that. They're just pointless. They really are pointless. Do I think snoring is the beast within trying to escape my body in which it is trapped in? I've never thought about it like that, but it does sound like a roar, so yeah, maybe it's your inner self trying to come out. I don't know. Why don't we see fruit polos anymore? I'll tell you why, because they were rubbish. Like, they were all sticky, they stuck together and you couldn't get them out of the packet, and they just weren't very nice. And last question from the Invertebrarian: who is my favourite Jedi? Master Yoda it is. Yeah, Master Yoda, and I can't wait to go and see the new Star Wars movie, just saying. My next questions are from Tarantula Arc. What are my other passions? So, obviously I've got my horses, my tropical fish, my reptiles. I quite enjoy walking, especially with my dog. I like going out on the moors. Other than that, not a lot really. It's all animal based. What scares me the most about keeping pets? Do you know what? I think what scares me the most is them dying, because it makes you feel like you've failed them. And sometimes it's not always, there's not always a why it happened. Sometimes it is just so sudden. Sometimes an animal can be sick and you don't even know. They don't show anything until it's too late, basically. So that's what scares me the most, because, you know, people might say, oh, it's just a spider, or it's just a snake, or not that I have snakes, but you know what I mean. It's because they don't like them or don't necessarily have them or consider them as a pet, doesn't mean to say that we don't, and we don't love them like we would love a dog. Because to be honest with you, my dog's like my baby, she's like my child. Again, with my horses, they're like my children. If I lose a tarantula, I'm devastated. Touch wood, I haven't lost any, I'm going to say big ones. Although I did lose my third tarantula that I ever got, close to a year of having him. That was really upsetting because I couldn't help him. But yeah, it's really upsetting to lose a pet, and I think that's what scares me the most. Next we have a question from Bug Realms, and it is Bugman Sam beautiful? Sam, of course you are. You know you are, especially after you've been on a night out. You are stunning. And my next question, or my last question, is from Robert Goddard, whose channel is called Invert the Inverts. If I could be a tea for a day, which would I be and why? Do you know what? I think I'd be an OBT, because I would make my awesome fort that I want, and I could threat pose all day and basically just have my own peace and quiet, because that's how I enjoy spending my time, is just in my peace and quiet, in my animal room, or with my horses and things like that. So yeah, I think I would be an OBT. And with that said, that is the end of the Q&A. I want to thank every single one of you who sent me in questions, especially the really funny ones or the really interesting ones. So I'm really quite pleased with the questions I got. I hope you're pleased with the answers. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And now I have a question for you. And that question is, what video would you like me to put up next? Or what would you like to see in upcoming videos? Is there a particular tarantula or other invert that you want to see? Or is there a particular video you want me to do, like a feeding video, or I don't know, a video with my true spiders, or a video on my reptiles, or you know, what is it you want to see? And whatever you want to see, I will put down in the comments section, and I will put it up in a video. Anything you want to see that is animal related. Yeah, if there's a tarantula you've not seen on the channel for a while, or an invert you've not seen, or anything like that, just let me know and I will compile a video with all those bits and pieces of things that you want to see. So thanks again for watching, take care, and I'll see you all in the next video where it will be what you have asked for. Cheers, bye!